Okay, we've been collecting questions from our YouTube audience, and I want to remind you that we have time for about 3 questions. Our volunteers may have combined or reworded questions to maintain nonpartisanship or for clarity. If we don't get to your question, remember, you can always reach out to the candidates via email and ask them directly, and I know they would appreciate that. So the first question I have here, Mr. Myers, you are going to start. The question is, how should complaints against officers be investigated? And what information should be shared with the public? And you do have 90 seconds for this response.
Just like the use of force, our current policy requires us to investigate and track every complaint, whether it's internal or external. And so again, those complaints come in, they're assigned a number, they're evaluated whether this is a minor complaint, is this a policy complaint, is this a criminal allegation, and then they're assigned either to the supervisor, they can be assigned to the detective division, they can be assigned to a commander, or they can be assigned to an outside agency. And we've done all of those. Once the investigation is completed, a recommendation comes up, it's reviewed by the individual supervisor, by their commander, and then it comes up to me for a disciplinary decision. All of those are also available. We track them all. We look at them again, the same thing with complaints. Do we have a training issue here? Do we have a perception issue here? Or do we have an officer issue? Do we have a disciplinary issue? It's made available to the public through the public disclosure process. One of the most critical things in transparency is providing truthful, accurate information to the public so that they can form their own decision about what we're doing. I invite anyone down, take a look at our stuff if you have questions. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you. Mr. Olson, I'm going to read the question again, which is, how should complaints against officers be investigated and what information should be shared with the public? And you have 90 seconds to respond.
Thank you. So all complaints need to be taken seriously. And I think when a complaint is brought in, it should be categorized and it should be either assigned to the direct supervisor of that employee or it should be assigned to a different supervisor, at which point they should be looking through any reports which are written, they should be looking at videos, and they should be interviewing witnesses. And then depending on where that complaint goes or the facts that are found, that information could be continued to be followed up upon through further investigations by a different person. Every process of an investigation should go through the chain of command. It should work its way up. There should be multiple eyes on it. And I know with the Washington State Patrol, we had an Office of Professional Accountability and Standards, and it was just very well done. There was a lot of steps involved in investigations, and then there was steps in place to make sure that each part of it was followed up upon properly. And then if there's policy violations, employee training, discipline should be handed down. Customer service is very important in complaints, and I think following up with people who complain is vitally just as important, and that should be done all the way up to the sheriff should be following up with people who make complaints, which I will do.
Thank you.